Genshin Impact and creator company Mihoyo have come under a fiery cancellation attempt from the NPCs over on X because, what else? The game isn't diverse enough. They're whitewashing it, this, that, and the other. You may have heard this already before. I know Hypno did a video on it, Atreus has done a video on it. However, something in Hypnotic's video made me think there's an underlying message here that seems to be getting lost. Something that I don't think a lot of folks are taking into consideration. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol. And yes, Genshin Impact voice actors throw support behind critics of natlan region skin tones. This is unforgivable. And let me tell you, I read through this article and I thought, wow, look at all of these English voice actors for a Chinese game that frankly have no right to be complaining about diversity or anything, because a lot of these voice actors are in fact individuals of color or indigenous or any of those other like special terms they want to use to make them sound like they've got some sort of validation. The game clearly has casted quite a bit of diversity, but apparently since the anime girls don't look diverse, that's a problem. And I'm sure that, like was covered in Hypnotic's video, there seems to be some sort of a strong-arming attempt from a consultation company, whether it be Sweet Baby Inc. or any of the others, to force change in this game. It seems like they're trying to slander the game, paint them in a bad light, to force change. However, that's what after the voice, we're going to get into that. After the voice actor shenanigans, we're going to cover what I think is a big picture aspect that a lot of these individuals are missing. So before we get into it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Now I'll be real out the gate. Genshin Impact ain't my bag. These sort of gotcha games, things to that effect, I'm sorry, I don't play them. They're not my style, but I can't deny Genshin Impact is one of the most famous games, one of the most successful games from a financial perspective in the world right now. So it of course was only a matter of time before the woke mob came after it, and honestly this probably isn't even the first time the woke mob has come after it, because they can't stand success. They can't stand to see individuals making money, doing things better than them, and they will use the fake virtues, the guise of virtue to try and strong arm and force individuals to their way of thinking. So let's see what this has to say. Voice actors for Genshin Impact have added their voices to the chorus of critics accusing the game's upcoming natlan region of being too white compared to their real-world inspirations. As previously reported, some X-users and supposed fans of Genshin Impact, I like how you put the supposed in there. Who wrote this? Was it Spence? I have a feeling this was Spence. Oh no, Ryan Pearson. Okay, fair enough. Supposed fans of Genshin Impact were outraged over the fact that characters from the upcoming natlan were far more white-skinned compared to the people found in the real-world locations it was inspired by. And people were throwing a fit about all of this. Creating a company, Mihoyo, said, hey, we don't know if you guys know or not, but the game's a work of fiction, because it's a Chinese company, and that's going to be very important to know when we get into my little conspiracy theory here near the end of this. It is a Chinese company. Keep that on your brain. Keep that on your noggin. In turn, developer Mihoyo had their customer support team reminding those complaining the characters and all the therein content are fictional. Now, I will say, Mihoyo, it is probably not a good idea to tell these dudes who want themselves a waifu for lifeu that their body pillow characters are fictional. You might be getting off to a wrong foot with your customers. This has nothing to do with the diversity aspect. By all means, make your characters as white as you want. I don't think that's going to stop anyone from playing the game. But telling these dudes to go to sleep clutching their body pillows and pretending they're real because 2D over 3D, that might cost you some sales. Now a variety of the game's English dub voice actors are joining the fray on the side of the critics. Well, of course they are, because these English voice actors, as someone who goes to a lot of conventions, has met plenty of English voice actors, they think that anytime they get on their pulpit and preach about social causes, that it's going to garner them more fans, it's going to garner them more convention appearances. And you know what? Maybe it does bring them more convention appearances, because folks at the convention centers are like, well, if we don't invite them, that's going to show like we're not showing support for diverse voices. So yeah, maybe it lines your pocketbook in that aspect, but it's not winning you any clout. It's not helping you get hired in any other states of gameplay. Actually, if it is helping you get hired, that's an even bigger problem at the state of the industry, but we're not going to talk about that in this one. Valeria Rodriguez, voice actress for Sucrose, was one of the Sucrose was one of Sucrose, like the bad stuff for you in soda. Anyway, was one of the first to object, writing to X, I could stay quiet about this and protect myself, but us folks of color don't always need to stay quiet and let the others fuck us over and disrespect us so we can continue to advance at half a pace of our white peers. What do you mean stay quiet about this and protect yourself? Your entire industry works on the idea of fake virtue. Remember all the fake accusations against Vic Mignogna and all these voice actors that immediately threw him under the bus so that they could be on the right side of history to get themselves, again, like I was saying, their acting jobs and whatnot? What do you mean stay quiet and protect yourself? If anything, your industry and the weird subsect minority fans of this sort of content, whether it be, anime, video games, whatnot, will eat this up. You're not protecting yourself. You're blatantly lying, because even you know that's the case, because frankly, you already had the job. So you being a minority didn't stop you from getting the job. They keep going on. Olorn, the supreme Yoruba deity, you could find out with a quick Google search even. This is unforgivable. Look at what a sick job Smite did with their own interpretation. It's not hard. Throwing a fit because this African-inspired god here, oh no, looks like an edgy anime character from a Chinese game. Big shocker, it uses an Eastern art style. If you want to talk about how, if we're going to be using, inspiration from previous cultures, what about the upcoming Hades 2? Hades 2, last I checked, they very much took a lot of their Greek gods and goddesses in a very altered direction from the original Greek mythos, but you don't see people complaining about that. All right, it's because it didn't happen to a black character. That's what it is. But it's not just her. It's Alejandro Saab. Now, I met Alejandro Saab. I'm going to be 100% honest. I think the dude's kind of a bitch. He comes off as like, he's been in a lot of real small-time anime and real small video games. He comes off as like the little yipping dog that you want to, like, hey, okay, fine, take some of my meat. You're barking at the table, take it and go, because you really don't want him around. He's got his own YouTube channel, and his content is very, just reaction content, not anything that special. But to be fair, I just read articles all day, so I really can't judge the dude on his content. But I didn't know that's who he's based on. That's bad. Yeah, dude, you're some young up-and-coming voice actor who's had a few decent roles, but frankly, a lot of mobile game roles. You're just saying the popular thing to go along with the crowd because that's what you think you're supposed to do, and this isn't based on any merit whatsoever. What about Zeno? Now, here's the dealio. I actually really like Zeno Robinson. I met him. He's a sweetheart of a guy. Like, Zeno Robinson, I don't want to say a negative thing about, but I gotta be honest and call it as I see it. But I will say in advance, I've met Zeno, spent extended amounts of time with him. Sweetheart of an individual. This is a dumb take, though. If you or your base or audience, the Chinese fans, are asking for better representation or character with different shades of melanin, who are you making these characters for? Well, that's an excellent question, Zeno. But this is a worldwide game, and the vast majority of individuals don't have problems with these interpretations of the characters, because if they did have problems with it, the game wouldn't be one of the most financially successful games in the entire world. And I'm going to be 100% honest, I don't think that their predominantly Chinese base cares too much to have a lot of black folk in the game. Be that as it may. I mean, hey, does that suck? Absolutely. But don't forget, they did shrink down Finn on the Star Wars posters in China to make him look less memorable. They did, in fact, put the face mask over T'Challa, over Chadwick Boseman. That way, they weren't marketing he was black. So I'm just saying, kind of par for the course for China. As a black dude, that might upset you, but hey, that's the Chinese market in a nutshell. If you're going to be in this industry, you may as well get used to it. It's an unfortunate fact of life. We got Koi Dao saying some stuff, Jenny Yakabori, there's even more, Anna Yakto, Allegra Clark. It goes on and on. Like, every single voice actor in this game, Kieran Regan, Christina Asif Costello, Corey Yee, they're all just parroting the exact same talking point. Not a single original thought of their own. They all just say the same thing over and over. Now, here's what I really want to get into, though, because now oh, look, the English voice actors, they're talking their trash, they're saying the same sort of stuff they always say. Yeah, we're used to that from English voice actors by now, especially if you've been following this sort of like anti-woke sphere in the anime or video game space for any length of time. Honestly, since like the OG Gamergate, these voice actors are the first to just jump at the table scraps of diehard liberal ideology because it thinks it's going to get them work. However, this is what Hypno is talking about. So yes, Genshin Impact voice actors accuse game of racism and cultural appropriation over design of newly introduced natlan characters. Now here's where they're calling for a boycott. Not the actors. One of these their consultation companies, a la Black Girl Gamers, Sweet Baby Inc., Gamer X, the whole nine. Please, we ask you to follow our guidelines during this boycott. Do review bomb. They're out here calling for a review bomb. These are the same individuals that every single time a new Star Wars movie or TV show or whatever comes out and does dog shit numbers because Star Wars is dead and the vast majority of the fans hate what Star Wars has become, they call it review bombing. They can't even imagine the fact that people just don't like it. But anytime something comes out, whether it be a video game, a movie, an anime, whatever, and it gets negative reviews, they immediately call it review bombing. Not, oh, this product sucked. Now they're calling for you to do the review bombing. Hypocrisy at its finest. Like and retweet, share posts from us, share posts from BIPOC, spread the word, tell a friend, encourage others to speak up, respond to surveys, and send complaints to customer support. Sign the link petition, contact your local politicians. Oh man, call up your local representative, call up your congressman, dude, get Donald Trump and Joe Biden on the phone, be like, yo, Big Daddy Trump, have you heard they ain't got enough black people in Genshin Impact? I know you probably don't know what that is, but ask your son Barron. I'm sure Barron knows all about Genshin Impact, where you call up, Biden and say the same thing, and he probably gives some sort of veil, like, yeah, I remember meeting black people once. They played with my hairy legs, and Bruno was a bad guy. Like post in the official Hoyoverse accounts, comments, mute, block trolls. But here's the things you don't do. Don't make any additional purchases. They're calling for a straight up boycott. Participate in giveaways. Participate in Hoyoverse's economic flow. Battle Pass, purchasable login rewards, merchandise collaborations. You don't want to do any. You don't want to participate in these. You don't want to participate in the giveaways. You don't want to harass or threaten voice actors, artists, or any content creator. Send threats to customer support. So they're out here straight up calling for you to send threats to the customer support. Don't interact with racists. Speak over people who are indigenous or affected. Now, Hypno says something really great here. I don't know, conspiracy time. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't shake the feeling that we're witnessing yet another extortion attempt. And when he says yet another extortion attempt, he's of course talking about the Black Myth Wukong game. We saw I would say at this point, straight up proof that they were trying to strong arm and extort the creators of Black Myth Wukong into using their DEI consultancy services for an outrageous $7 million. DEI consultancy groups, especially Sweet Baby Inc., have admitted to wanting to terrify marketing teams over the company not wanting to hire DEI consultants. Now, Black Myth Wukong, that's another Chinese game. Here's where it gets interesting. Here's what I feel like these consultation companies, and frankly what a lot of these people just, even you watching, you might not have thought about this. I see this Genshin Impact news, it's been around for 3, 4, 5 days now. There's a reason I hadn't covered it. Well, frankly, everyone else had it covered, and I couldn't care less about Genshin Impact. But then I watched Hypno's video on it yesterday, and something clicked. Something I don't think a lot of folk are going to realize. China, these Chinese games, at no point will ever use these consultation companies. And why is that? Well, think about it. Think of all the division. Think of all the discord. Everything that's being sown into the culture war, into American social political sphere these days. How much of it comes from China? Think about TikTok. TikTok is out here as one of the most divisive platforms, divisive social media apps in our hands today. I mean, you've got the US government fighting over whether or not TikTok should be banned, which is a Chinese app. You got these video games that are Chinese developed games. If I was a country and I wanted to take them over, or I wanted to beat them at their own game, or keep them distracted while I advance my technology, my army, whatever it may be, yes, I would do anything and everything possible to sow discord and let them destroy themselves from the inside, which is what a lot of people are arguing that China is doing. So why would China hire these sorts of consultation companies that, let's be honest, are only in existence because the Chinese plan is working? The whole reason that Sweet Baby Inc., Gamer X, Black Girl Gamers, and all these other consultation companies have a job, the whole reason they exist is because China has so successfully infiltrated and created such brain rot in the American social and political system. They are fully benefiting off China's destruction of the United States. Why the hell would China, who has effectively funded this, even if it's just through some sort of proxy, ever use your actual service to create that own sort of division? You are actually tools for the Chinese, and you don't even realize it, Sweet Baby Inc. and your ilk. You have no idea how much China's very existence is what allowed you to come up and create it in the very first place. And now you're trying to strong arm them into having your influence on their games when their entire idea is a cultural monopoly, a cultural ascension over the West. It's kind of mind-blowing. I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner. I'm sure some of you have, others you probably not. But yeah, no Chinese video game, I think we can safely say, no Chinese video game will ever, and I mean ever, use any of these consultation companies purely because They created them. And I get it, that's a bit conspiratorial, and maybe China didn't create them, just like China didn't, make Sweet Baby Inc. from the ground up, but what China has been doing to the American social political landscape is what caused rise to Sweet Baby Inc. and their ilk. And that's kind of amazing when you think about it. So yes, when you see these gaming companies or these consultation companies trying to strong arm these Chinese games into using their services, and you sit there and you wring your hands and you worry, oh man, I hope Black Myth Wukong doesn't get Sweet Baby Inc. Oh, I hope Genshin Impact doesn't get Gamer X or Black Girl Gamers. Oh, I can very safely say, you can rest 100% assured, my dear favorite gamer. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. Ain't no way these companies are touching Chinese games, because the Chinese know all too well the absolute destruction they'll bring, because they're the ones who want to see that destruction wrought. But oh well, what can I say? That's just my conspiracy Seattle brain talking to you guys at 11:30 at night that you're going to be seeing at 11 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this one. Let me know in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not usually about Genshin Impact or anything to that effect, because I'm not really a Genshin Impact player, but anything, anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, video games, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get in touch with over 80 other vital idols. This is a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait for you to become a part of. I cannot wait to grow further, because we do care about diversity, but one kind of diversity of thought. So if that sounds interesting to you, hit that subscribe button, join the Discord, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.